In a school where silence hides ancient curses, one girl's prayers could awaken a kingdom's darkest secret. They said she arrived with the rain. No umbrella, no guardian, just a trunk wrapped in a faded Ankara cloth, and a silence so loud it swallowed the noise of the school bell. Her name was Naomi. Some called her the girl with royal blood. Others whispered she was the cursed one. But at St. Theresa's Royal Girls' College, no one really cared where you came from until you made them curious. And Naomi did that on her first day. Her uniform didn't fit. Her shoes were too big. Her eyes looked like they hadn't seen sleep in weeks. But there was something about the way she walked, her back always straight, her gaze cold yet wounded, like she was carrying secrets, too heavy for someone barely 18. They placed her in Dormont 5B, right between Ika, the class loudmouth, and Selma, the pastor's daughter. She didn't speak much. She didn't gossip. She didn't eat the dormitory bread. But she prayed. Oh, how she prayed. Every midnight, Naomi would slip quietly out of her bed, wrap herself in a white shawl, and walk barefoot to the school chapel. And every night, Eka, pretending to be asleep, would watch her through half-lidded eyes. There was something about Naomi's prayers. They weren't soft, they weren't sweet, they were desperate, fierce, like she was fighting with God himself, like she was asking to be free from something. Eka once followed her. She hid behind the chapel door and listened. And that night she heard Naomi whisper, "Mama, I saw you again in the fire. Why won't you speak to me? Why won't you tell me what I did wrong?" Then Naomi began to weep. Not the kind of weeping you do for pity, no. It was deeper, older, like generations of pain were pouring out of her body all at once. The next day, the rumors began to spread that Naomi was not just from a royal family, but she was the only daughter of Queen Imerima of Umuaba, the woman who mysteriously died during a church service 2 years ago, right in front of her daughter, that her father remarried a deaconess barely 3 months later, that her stepmother, Lady Ubianuju, now sat on the throne, that Naomi vanished after the funeral. But no one could ask her directly, because Naomi didn't answer questions. That was until Pastor Junior arrived. He was young, tall, with a voice that could silence a noisy assembly hall, and a smile that made even Salma forget she was supposed to be holy. He had been sent by the church headquarters to mentor the girls spiritually, but no one expected him to take special interest in Naomi. And Naomi noticed for the first time since she arrived, looked at someone with something other than pain in her eyes. They barely spoke, but their silences were loud. He started leaving devotion books in her locker. She started folding notes into the chapel hymnals. It was when the dreams began that Naomi realized something was wrong. She dreamt of her mother's crown floating in a bowl of blood. She dreamt of a faceless groom at the altar, waiting. She dreamt of fire in the palace chapel, and her stepmother laughing. Then, one afternoon during siesta, a black car pulled up at the school gates. The guards said it was from Umuaba Palace. No one needed to guess who it was for. Lady Obianuju sent a letter. Naomi was being withdrawn. Reasons, family emergency. But by the time the driver came to collect her, Naomi was gone, vanished. Her bed perfectly made, her trunk untouched. Only one thing was left on her pillow, a single white feather, and a handwritten note that read, "The curse sleeps for no one." The school panicked. The principal called the palace. The palace claimed Naomi had already arrived. She hadn't. 2 days passed. Then Ika, unable to sleep, wandered into the chapel and found a diary hidden under the altar. Naomi used. In it were letters to her mother, confessions of nightmares, and one page that was circled over and over, as if she had written it while crying. If I fall in love, he will die. But if he survives, I will be free. Mama, I don't want to love anyone, but I think it's too late. The next morning, Pastor Junior was found sitting alone in the chapel, holding a blood-stained ring in one hand and the Bible with a note tucked inside. If I don't return, go back to where it all ended. The real altar was never the one in the palace. It's beneath the school. And at that exact moment, far away in the heart of the palace, the ancient royal necklace, hidden deep in the family vault, suddenly began to glow. Lady Obianoju collapsed, and the skies turned grey. Something had been awakened. To be continued. What secret lies beneath the school chapel? Will Naomi survive what's coming? And who really holds the power? The stepmother, the pastor, or the girl who prays in the rain? Like, share and follow for part 2, The Blood Beneath the Chapel.